Be on your best behavior. All right. All right. Hello. This is the April 1/April 2 libp2p meeting, and we are ready to start discussing the crypt pad, which I guess both of you are in. All right. So should we go in order? Let's skip Martin because he might show up. Yusuf, I guess theoretically he could show up. So anyway, well, let's skip them, and then if they don't come, people can just read their updates. So, and you're next, Anacrolix. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay. Do I just go through those things in order?
Yeah, basically, and then if something stands out as something we want to talk about, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so I did a few miscellaneous bug fixes on things that I found while exploring metrics. I've been exploring metrics with Prometheus and Open Sensors, and then also making use of them and having a look at what kind of behaviors we're getting. One of the things I've been using them for is to test alternatives to the way we're doing stream management for that pipelining stuff, and some other alternatives. And the results are interesting, but not what I expected. Some messages are very slow. Some messages have strange delays. I'm not sure why. An interesting thing I found was request response message types. So like get providers and find node are actually faster than one-way messages like add providers. So I'm still exploring that. I don't know why that's the case. It seems very strange. And I guess just exploring this stuff in general, I'm adding metrics here and there that make a lot of sense. So eventually those things will get merged into the DHT. I'm not sure if tracing is going to be helpful in this regard. Maybe it will be, but now that we've chosen to go with Open Sensors, maybe I should start looking into using tracing to help explore this stuff. That could be a bit of a time sink, but maybe it's necessary. I'd have to do some more research. There's a few repos that probably want metrics exposed as well, but I'm going to wait until the Open Sensors thing is settled before adding metrics to those repos too. In the short term, I'm hoping to work on the two, I forget what they are now, the two issues that I have there. I think they're routing table related, just general failures in bad circumstances that I think are fairly easy to fix if they're done right. So they are having fallback nodes in case the routing table gets completely emptied. We had a user that's not doing that manually. That's sort of an unfortunate side effect. And the other one is moving towards the behavior that routing table entries shouldn't always need to be connected to kind of avoid weird network layouts that occur if you don't have that property. So, yeah. That's all.
Okay, John, you want to go?
Sure. So last Friday, I met with Juan, and he took a look at my preliminary DHT redesign proposal, and he actually seemed very positive about it. And he seems to agree that things are in pretty bad shape, and we should I should just try doing something rather different, moving things around, modularizing things. So I think I have kind of a list of things, next steps here. But the first thing I want to do is look at some papers that Juan specifically recommended. There's one called Vuvuzela that is a privacy-oriented messaging system. I don't think that's going to be relevant immediately for the DHT, but just it would be interesting to understand it. And VHash, which is a paper it's a DHT paper that I didn't run into that Juan was pointing out is actually similar to some of my ideas about making the metrics that we use to decide who to query next much more flexible. Juan also recommended, so I guess the next thing we need to do is from my perspective, is figure out how to do messages efficiently. So I want to talk to Lars, who's working on multigram, which is like multi-stream but for datagrams. I talked to Juan about some of the technical difficulties there in terms of sessions and losing state and getting confused when you potentially reconnect after a reboot. And it seems like at least Juan and I are very much on the same page about what the potential problems are. So that's one angle. And then the actual DHT parts of it. I need to look at the way advertising protocols ought to work, because right now it's completely implicit in our DHT, just as it was in the original Kademlia, where anyone who issues a query is willing to route data. And I don't think that's what we want, and I don't think that even belongs in the DHT. So figuring out what that looks like. Thinking about resource management interfaces. Juan seemed to like my preliminary suggestion of essentially you have each end user facing part or the application or service provided by a node would have an account that you can charge resources to. I'm not sure I like that, but I think it's at least an interesting idea, so I want to think about that some more. And I need to figure out what my actual goals are going to be this quarter.
Okay, that sounds good. I took like one note, if you wanna amend it, John, you can. You're the official note taker. Okay, so
right.
yeah, so basically, here's what I'm up to. So 2 weeks ago, Raul Vasco and I went to Ireland and met with the design firm that's building this libp2p visualizer. It's just at the visual design stage right now. It's not. No code is going to be written in this phase, but basically, I think it will. Based on the directions they're going, I think you'll be able to attach to a node. It's like a debugger. You attach to some instrumented libp2p node. It sucks out all the metrics, whether it's OpenCensus or Prometheus or whatever, and then it makes this information sort of more visible, but in a way that newcomers might find easier to understand than a text trace, execution trace or something. So I'm really hopeful about this project. I think it'll help us. I think it'll help make libp2p bugs easier to find, and also make it easier for users to understand what is the expected behavior. It has modules for the DHT, for the routing table, for showing all the connections you have open and what streams are on those connections and how much data they're pushing back and forth. So I think hopefully this thing will make the whole system more easier to understand. That said, this is the design phase ends at the end of this week, but the actual implementation of this is a massive web app, so it's probably 6 months or something. So we have to figure out how we're going to do that. But and then security audit is going to start on April 15, which I think is 2 weeks from now. And there's the security audit of libp2p will happen in 2 phases. Phase 1 is they're going to find as many bugs as they can, and then report the security bugs as they can, report them to us. We'll log them in a repo, probably a private repo, just so that people don't, until we have a fix. I don't know that we want to be advertising if serious security issues. And then phase 2, which will happen later this year, probably in Q3, they'll come back, re-review that stuff, and hopefully also review TLS 1.3, which we're hoping will be merged and usable by then. And then at that point they'll issue a report, like a standard security auditor report of any new problems they found, what we did to mitigate the old problems, and that's pretty much the process. So yeah, I'm not blocked on anything this week. I'm going to finalize OKRs with the help of you guys and the rest of the team. Those are due I think by Friday. And then yeah, this is internal to PL, but for people who are directly employed by PL, I'll be working on the performance review stuff. Just trying to give people like helpful feedback, and I just noted that this week I'm in Seoul with Parody, so my time's like a little limited, although it's great for time zone alignment with with Australia and wherever Martin is. So okay, yeah, that's all I had. I wanted to ask one question about something you were saying, Anacrolix. Other than that, I don't have any agenda items, so we can call it unless other people have questions. So is the so I keep like there seems to be conflicting things about open census versus Prometheus. I know it's like a sensitive issue and some people feel very strongly on one side or the other. But have we like actually made a decision to go with open census? Was that the point we've gotten to, or is it still kind of undecided?
I think we've decided to go with it and do one of those. We'll go with it for now and then review it in I think a month. So I'm guessing the end of April, and decide if we're happy with the results. I think it's one of those kind of decisions. So I believe we're going with open census for now. Okay,
cool. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. I don't have an opinion. I just wanted to know what the status of it was. Yeah.
And I think all the features that we want are present. The only thing we're lacking is a bit of documentation and some stability around some of the features. But I believe that everything we want is there and ready to go. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
For Anacrolix and Mike, I guess. It definitely, I definitely get the feeling that Juan would prefer I work on the Go version of the DHT, but I would personally prefer to work on the JavaScript version. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts.
I have a thought. Well, here, I'll go, and then...
I'm leaning on the Go direction at this point, but...
Yeah,
yes.
I think the Go direction is better for the project. The reason is that, as you know, right now we have specs that are in a state that is not... it's coming along, but it's not really something you could implement just from reading the specs. So for most new language implementers, which they've proliferated massively, like the C++, there's at least 2 different JVM implementations, Python obviously, and I feel like I'm forgetting like 2 more languages, but we point them to the Go implementation, basically say like this is the reference implementation. So I think for your work, it would be more helpful if we could get it into the Go implementation more quickly.
Okay.
Just my personal opinion, though.
Nope, that's perfectly. I think the only, other than that, I'm a little more familiar with JavaScript. Well, significantly more. But the only other argument I have for it is there's a lot more stuff that's only implemented in Go that's sort of not core, and just having something simpler I think would be kind of nice. But I think I'll go with Go.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I guess you have to think about your own, like, if you are so much more productive in JavaScript that working in Go is gonna like mean it will take 3x as long or something, then it's probably not worth it. But
no, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Plus, I'm sure I'll get faster at Go quickly.
So one observation I had, you were talking about resource management. Just
Yes.
running metrics on an IPFS instance, I discovered that it seems to be quite clever at managing file descriptor resources. I don't know if there's something already there. I haven't had a poke around. There might be something in there that does that, but
There is actually there is something somewhere that tries to optimize for file descriptors. I forget.
Yeah, whether or not it's optimal, I'm not sure, but it does seem to do very well, or at least maximize its use of available resources. It's quite impressive.
Okay, cool. I'll take a look.
Mm.
Okay, if people don't have anything else, then I think we should call the meeting. I'll post the CryptPad to GitHub. I'll post this video on YouTube, and then we're going to try this new thing where we try to get everyone on the team to approve the GitHub pull request of these notes, just signaling that they read it. I mean, they can comment if they want to, but just we don't. The worry is that these two different calls will cause the team to like bifurcate, and so we're trying to keep people like equally informed. So you should approve this. You don't have to reread your notes since you attended, and if you didn't attend but you're watching this, then you can hit approve by this point in the video.
All right.
Sounds good.
See you later, guys.
Bye.